some like
here it is. I
you
found it.
or something.
Okay. Woo! Okay, guys, if you're just now joining, I wanted everyone to go ahead and get their oil, their favorite oil. So go ahead and have that with you while we're getting started in the intro stuff. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how to rewire your body to tackle stress, improve sleep, balance emotions. So just want to welcome everyone and say that if you are more zen than a monk, if you sleep like a baby every single night, and if you are, well, let me get this out of the way. If you are emotionally stable like Bob Ross, whoop, there we go, then congratulations, this class isn't for you. You know what, Suzanne, I forgot to record. Did you go ahead and press, can you press record? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. So my goals for today is to show you how to be more self-aware and recognize triggers, to give you natural tools to handle stress and improve sleep and balance emotions. So let's get started. So here's a little bit about who I am. My name is Alicia Michaelis. I'm a licensed massage therapist for the past about 10 years. I'm a crunchy homeschool mom of 3. I have 2 boys and a girl, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-month-old. They keep me very busy. And I am a silver wellness advocate, and I've been using these essential oils for the past 8.5 years now. And got started using essential oils a little bit before that while in massage school. I've always liked scents and how things smell, like more so burning incense and candles, which, you know, aren't exactly healthy for us to breathe in. So whenever I found these oils, I really thought that they were pretty powerful and there was something to them. So I knew that they were great with physical ailments, but I never really had, I guess, used them for emotional well-being. So here's kind of like my first experience with using the oils for emotional healing and support. It was after my 2nd miscarriage, within a year, and finding out along that journey that my brother and my sister-in-law were expecting. And so it was kind of really hard for me because I felt like I was just stuck in this emotional rut. Not that I wasn't happy for them, it's just that I just kind of was on my own emotional hardship. So I needed something to kind of just like help me get out of that emotional rut. So I had happened across this video, and it was talking about using essential oils for emotional support. And one that was specifically mentioned was using cypress oil over your heart. And I found that that is the oil for motion and flow. And it works in the heart and the mind. It actually helps to teach the soul how to let go of the past by moving forward with the flow of life. So it helps those that are mentally and emotionally stuck. And that was totally me. So I used that oil a lot during that time of my life. And then I got pregnant and now have my first son, and we named him Cypress. So there's that. So I'm sure most of you guys deal with some sort of stress in some way, whether you're like a stay-at-home mom, that's me, you know, you've got kids that you have to just meet all their needs and, you know, feed them like 15 times a day because my kids are always eating. Or you've got your work stress, which is like deadlines or demands at work. Maybe you've got stressful people to be around at work, or your boss is kind of like hard to get along with. And everyone's navigating COVID, right? So that's just a stress for everyone in the world right now. So sleep or stress, sleep, and emotions all play on each other. So too much stress, not enough sleep, or poor quality of sleep, and emotional imbalance, they all play a key role into tilting the balance of one or the other. So what you're going to learn today is, one is how your physical body and emotional body are connected, the 3 brains that connect your body or that control your body, and how to leverage these connections and rewire your body. Okay, So in your brain, you have something called the limbic system. And this is the emotional center of your brain. Every thought, emotion, life lesson, memory, etc., is stored there. So along with that limbic system is your olfactory bulb. So you can see this graphic here. And this is your sense of smell. And it's the only one of your senses that's processed in this part of your brain, which is alongside your thoughts and emotions. The olfactory bulb relays information directly to your limbic system, and it's not just relaying smells, it's actually relaying things that are associated with smell. So let's see, let me go to the next slide. So researchers are actually finding that these olfactory receptors are all over our bodies. They're actually found on our organs as well. So smells can actually bring up good and happy memories. So some people may really like an oil, like how it smells, or you could be really offended by an oil and just totally dislike how it smells. So for some people, that's either bringing up some sort of bad memory that's associated with that smell, or because these oils are so powerful and there's these emotional connections, it could be that maybe your body's just not ready to do that kind of emotional work yet. So stress and negative emotions can actually lead to physical ailments. Our organs, muscles, and cells can hold trapped emotional trauma or stress that needs to be released with the help of physical healing. So if you look at this picture here, you'll see all these different organs, and there's different emotional components that are associated with those. So for instance, like grief and depression can be held in the lungs. And you can get a physical symptom of like maybe some breathing problems. Some people have asthmatic issues. If you are angry, you know, that's held a lot in the liver, eyes, gallbladder. So that can lead to problems within that area. And let's see, another one. So worry. Think about like when you guys are worried, that's like a lot of digestive stuff. So I know like whenever I worry about something, man, my stomach is torn up. I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but I definitely do. So there's a lot of emotional stuff that can be stored not only in our organs, but within our whole body. So actually, let me go back to that for just a second because I want to share a story, because as a massage therapist, many times I've seen people come into me, you know, for several years and get consistent massages, but they're always coming in with the same pain, the same problem, and it's never really seeming to go away. And so a lot of times that's just they need to identify that there's probably something deeper going on there. There's probably some sort of emotional trauma or something that they're going through that has gotten trapped and stuck into that painful area. So first we just have to identify and recognize that emotion or the area that's being affected. Then we need to release it and release those stored emotions, and then restore and heal. So low back, for instance, low back pain is often associated with change and unstable grounding. So when my family's business of 15 years, where I grew up working, was we had sold it and it was being torn down to sell as the land only. It was really hard for me. I was at the time and going through massage school. And so I was getting massages daily because we would always work on each other while at massage school. And I had this low back pain that I just could not figure out how to get rid of. I didn't understand why it was there and why it was just continuing. And my teacher didn't really understand that either. And so he had worked on me a little bit and kind of just started digging into this like emotional aspect of it, and trying to just bring up kind of just to jog my memory of maybe there's something going on that I'm not aware of consciously. And so it was kind of just realizing that all that I was going through with my family's business, that it was just unstable for me. And that's why I had this low back pain. And so he did some energetic healing along with just kind of recognizing that issue and being able to let it go. And my back got better. It was crazy. But imagine if I had had these essential oils to pair with that, like how powerful that would have been to release. So stress is actually a good thing. I know that may sound crazy, but we need stress in our life. We just don't need it consistently. So it's healthy in short bursts. It allows us to get things done. It helps us to respond quickly. It keeps our brain sharp and alert and our body ready to react. But it also, it's critical so in survival and fear and anxiety responses. So imagine like caveman days when saber-toothed tigers were running around and you probably needed to escape one. Then you would want some stress to kick in and get you going, right? You don't want to be an animal's food. So we don't have that now, but we still have stressors that really need us to get going. Like, you know, if a kid's playing in the street and you see a car coming, you need that stress and anxiety to like kick in to get you going, that fight or flight mode to go get that kid and get him out of the street. So it's okay in those short bursts. So it helps to release those high levels of cortisol, which is that stress hormone. It increases your blood glucose level, which is your sugar. You need some sugar for some energy. Speeds up your heart rate, increases blood flow to the muscles in the arms and the legs, and it helps get you moving. But the problem is when that stress goes chronic, you're in that amped and ramped state. And so any kind of stress is going to feel like everything's stressful. So you're kind of like, you know, all those same exact things that we had here for the responses that we have are going to be just ramped up, and it's going to affect our sleep as well. So when that stress goes chronic, we've got prolonged stress and lack of proper rest, and it wears down the brain and body functions. So then we'll have these mental, emotional, and physical aspects that kind of pop up. So for instance, the mental part is we've got a shrinking capacity for focus, concentration and learning, logical thinking, decision-making, memory, clear speech, imagination. So that's the emotional side or the mental side. And then emotional side, maybe we've got an increased incidence of depression and anxiety, irritability. I mean, like, who's not been irritable whenever they're kind of stressed out, right? Lack of motivation, addictive behavior. Think about people who turn to like alcohol and things like that for that stress relief. Difficulty overcoming grief, you know, kind of like that stuck in the emotional side. Excessive fears, crying easily, emotional strain. And then there's that physical element again. Maybe we've got head and muscle tension, like, you know, headaches, insomnia or poor sleep, loss of muscle strength, disrupted digestion, immune compromise. I know it's super easy for me to get sick if I am just stressed out and not sleeping. If my sleep is super interrupted for several days with kids, it's always compromising my immune system. And then maybe, you know, you turn to food for like that stress relief. So food cravings or elevated blood pressure and sugar imbalances. So have you ever experienced a physical and emotional connection? So y'all just think about that. Okay, so here's our secret number 2 is the 3 brains that control your body. We've got the head brain, I know the truth. We've got the heart brain, I feel the truth. And then we've got the gut brain, which is I process the truth. That's our gut feeling, our intuition. So the heart and gut brain send more information to the cranial brain than vice versa. 85 to 90% of all neural fibers carry information from the body to the brain, and a major part of this information comes from the heart via the vagus nerve. 90% of the signals conveyed through the vagus nerve travel from the gut to the brain, while only 10% of the traffic runs in the opposite direction from the brain to the gut. So our gut is a pretty powerful brain, if you ask me. Your gut brain doesn't exist just to help you digest food. It also plays a key role in mental health and emotional well-being. 90% of our serotonin is made in the digestive tract. And so low levels of serotonin in the brain may actually cause depression, anxiety, and sleep trouble. Okay, so let's talk about that vagus nerve a little bit more. It is actually your body's communication superhighway. So, it goes between the brain and the internal organs, and it controls the body's response in times of rest and relaxation, which is that parasympathetic nervous system. It runs actually from the base of your ear, face, throat, and heart, and along your digestive tract. So essentially, it touches all three of those brains, which is pretty cool. When your body is not in distress, the vagus nerve sends commands that slow the heart rate and breathing rates and increase digestion. So in times of stress, the control shifts to that sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight. So it produces the opposite effect. The essential oils such as lavender and bergamot have shown to increase heart rate variability, which improves vagal tone. So those are some really cool oils to use. Both are actually really similar in their chemical components as well. They're really similar to each other. Okay, so it is possible to manually stimulate the vagus nerve to experience these benefits. So the aim is to move the belly and diaphragm with the breath and just to slow down your breathing. The vagus nerve stimulation occurs when the breath is slowed from our typical 10 to 14 breaths per minute to 5 to 7 breaths per minute. And you can actually achieve this by counting the inhalation to 5, hold briefly, and then exhale to the count of 10. Okay, so that's where your oil comes in. So everybody grab your oils that you brought with you. If you didn't yet, if you're just jumping on, go find your favorite oil real quick, calming or whatever. We're talking about stress and sleep. So I'm using Adaptive. So you guys grab your oil. I want you to go ahead and put a drop in your hand. And let's rub that together. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this demonstration to stimulate our vagus nerve while using our essential oils. So go ahead and put that over your nose, and we're going to, I'm going to kind of count with you while you guys are deep breathing, okay? So deep breathe to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold it for just a second, and then let's exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's do that again, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling and hold it for a second, and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, guys. Good. So who feels more relaxed? Yeah? Okay, so I would encourage you guys to do this every night when you lay down, just to help your body relax, to clear your mind, and to get yourself ready, like headed in the right direction for some peaceful sleep. Whenever I was pregnant with my last two, I actually did Hypno Babies, and I would listen to it at night, and it was all this deep breathing and just getting your mind into this really peaceful state. And I would pass out so fast, even just during the deep breathing stage. So these are super important components to just chilling out your body. Okay, so our third secret is how to leverage these connections and rewire your body. So essential oils are aromatic compounds that our bodies are able to utilize through the limbic system of our brain. We learned that, right? Okay, so florals are generally calming. The mint oils are commonly known to be uplifting and energizing. Trees, herbs, and grasses promote soothing, grounding emotions, and feelings of renewal. Think of the forgive oil, you guys who have it, right? Citrus oils contain significant uplifting characteristics, and then spice oils are more of those warming properties. Okay, so consistency is key when we're using these oils, and when we pair it with other work that we do, it's just pretty profound. So think about times of when you do yoga or counseling, meditation or hypnosis even. or even your exercise. Exercise is really, hey, can you guys mute if you have your volume on?
I want.
So exercising is also another key thing that you guys can do to increase your serotonin levels as well. So if you guys are pairing these essential oils with those, hey guys, can you mute please?
Alicia?
Yeah?
I can't mute anyone because you have the controls now, but you can go through if you want.
Oh, okay, I found it. Perfect, thanks. Okay. So, and then results take time. Our bodies are actually rewriting neurons in our brain through the olfactory system every 6 to 10 weeks, I believe is what I read. And so these results take time to use. And when they're coupled with the right tool, you can actually make it permanent. So when you want to change and rewrite the way that you think and feel, using them casually and in the moment is good. It's helpful, but it isn't going to change anything long-term, those long-term habits or patterns in your brain. Oops. Oh, sorry. Okay. So this is one of my favorite systems that recently came out. It's called the adaptive system. And so it came with it came with oils and the calming blend capsules. So the two oils that are listed here is the touch oil, which is in the roller form. So that's easy to carry with you in your purse or in your pocket and just simply roll it on. You can roll it on your neck, on your pulse points, on your wrists. The other oil is easy to diffuse, so it's easy to drop out. Both of these are they're great for reducing the anxious, intense feelings, increasing feelings of tranquility, helping with restlessness, helps uplift your mood, which is what we really need to help just kind of with stress in our life. These actually came out specifically to address stress, which I think is really awesome. So whenever I first knew that this was coming out, I was super excited to try the oil on my son, Cypress, because he's the type of person that he likes things done in a certain way. And if they're not done in that certain way, his little world just turns upside down. And I mean, so little things would just stress him out, whether it was, you know, he was cutting something and he messed up cutting, it would just make him so frustrated. And so, especially whenever we were going to our homeschool co-op, like arts and crafts, which is really frustrating because he wanted things to be done perfectly. So whenever I got this, would just keep that roller bottle in my pocket and just use on him throughout the day. And it really just helped him chill out a little bit more and just to not be so overwhelmed and stressed out about all those little perfectionistic things that his little mind goes through. So that was just super perfect for him. And then this adaptive capsule, it's actually completely different as far as its the ingredients that are in it. And I've been using both since they came out. And I know my husband can tell a difference when he uses his adaptive oil before he goes to work, and also using the capsules throughout the day as well. So ironically, while I was preparing for this class this week, it's just been a super trying week, y'all. I'm from Arkansas. We say y'all. Anyway, I was just really tested in not only the stress, but also the sleep and the emotional side of it, which is just, I don't know, maybe it's a learning experience, I guess. But we already know that they all play off of each other, all three of these things. And so my sleep was compromised. Not that I don't go to sleep easily, but I have a 2-month-old. So that's number one. Number two is that he had a tongue and lip tie revision a couple of weeks ago. And I have to do these mouth stretches on him every couple of hours. And he does not like that. And I don't like to have to do that. So that's kind of really hard. But I also have to get up in the middle of the night to do these things on him. So that really interrupts my sleep. So that, you know, has then played on a lot of other things in my life. We are actually coming up on a year of my father-in-law passing. And so that's been heavy on my heart. Man, I was trying not to cry. But you know, those things happen in our life, and we just, sometimes it's like we don't really think about it until it's something's affecting us, you know, emotionally, and those other stressors are playing on it. And so then we had found out that my dad has some malignant melanoma that popped up this week. And so, you know, all that on top of just being a mom and having to deal with those daily stressors, it's just sometimes hard. And so this has been a super hard week. But these products really actually helped me kind of get through my week better. I had a really crappy day one day and slept horribly. And I was just, every little thing I was frustrated at my kids about. So I just reached for my oils and I reached for my adaptive blend, and I knew that I just needed to do something to change the day. And it really helped to ground me. It helped to kind of level me out to where I could just get through that day better without every little thing just kind of compounding on each other and making the day worse. So if you'll notice, in the ingredients in the adaptive blend calming capsules is something called GABA. Okay, so let me explain why GABA is super important. It is an amino acid that is naturally produced in the brain, along with a component that, in the brain, and a component of that production is L-theanine. So think about that L-theanine, remember that one too, okay? So it's naturally produced in the brain. And it helps to facilitate communication among the brain cells, but it helps with physical homeostasis, which is that just levelness, that balancing everything out. It's an inhibitory neurotransmitter, so it diminishes the activity of neurons in the brain and central nervous system. Okay, so why would we want to diminish activity of our neurons in our brain? Well, whenever our brain is in that excess, like we've got too much going on in our mind, things are just firing off so fast and we're stressed out and we just can't really keep our mind straight, then we need something to slow all that stuff down. So essentially, it is our body's brake pedal for those neurons. It helps to slow brain waves and activity. It alleviates mental stress and fatigue when we're stressed and anxious, helps with physical tension and discomfort, boosts a sense of calm and relaxation, helps with hormone and gut activity, and it improves our capacity to fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep soundly, which is pretty important. All these things are playing on each other, right? Okay, so let's see, somebody's not on. Hang on just a second. Okay. Whoops. I had to mute somebody, sorry. Okay. Our next blend that I want to talk about is Serenity. So this is in two forms as well. We've got our oil and we've got some soft gels that go along with it. So the oil they've got completely different ingredients in both of them. This one it's called the Restful Blend. So it helps with creating a restful environment at bedtime. It's calming. It's really just relaxing. It helps to encourage a tranquil atmosphere. So diffusing this at night in your bedroom is perfect. I like to use this oil on my kids' feet and spine every single night. Sometimes I'll rub some on their ears so they can smell it easier as well. And it's super relaxing. I love this oil. But the Serenity soft gels, okay, so these have different ingredients, as you'll see at the very bottom here. Lavender, L-theanine. L-theanine, do you remember that from the GABA? Okay, so that's pretty important. The lemon balm, passion flower, German chamomile. Okay, so all of these ingredients are actually used to help produce GABA in our body. It helps with the GABA production. So not only is this blend helping with our sleeplessness and relaxation and sleep and helping with, you know, all those things, but it's helping with that GABA production, which is also helping with our stress. L-theanine is actually it's specifically shown to improve sleep efficiency as well, which refers to the amount of time that you're actually asleep. And it also improves sleep latency, which is the amount of time it takes you to fall asleep once the lights are out. So both are really important for healthy sleep. But studies have been shown that people who fall asleep faster are usually able to have more efficient sleep. So those are all really important for sleep. Okay, PB Assist. So this is the doTERRA's probiotic. And probiotics are also helpful in GABA production as well. But they're also helpful for our gut health. So if you remember back to that whole gut-brain thing, so it's affecting our gut-brain and our happy hormones, that serotonin, as well. And so what's cool about this product, I'm not going to just dive into all the details of it because that's for the supplement class, right? But it's really cool because it's this dual chamber capsule, and it has not only a prebiotic but the probiotic as well. And so this little thing breaks down in our body exactly where we need it to, where it is more effective. Oh, one more thing. I have some other sleep oil suggestions. I don't have it on a slide, but you guys can just kind of write it down if you want. But lavender, of course, lavender was in the Serenity. Lavender is really good. Roman chamomile, vetiver. Vetiver is a root. It's really grounding. I like to use vetiver and lavender together. Bergamot and petitgrain both are actually really similar to lavender. Both are can also be uplifting, but they have the same chemical components that lavender does as far as that relaxing property. So both of those are actually relaxing oils that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Petitgrain is kind of like the man's lavender. It's kind of, it comes from the twigs and leaves of the bitter orange tree. So it's a little bit kind of woodsy or kind of earthy, I guess. And cedarwood is another good one as well. Okay. This is one of my favorite kits as well. It's the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. And as you'll see, there's 6 different oils on here. I'm not going to just go in super depth on each one of them. But when I first got this kit at convention, Cheer was my immediate favorite. It's like sunshine in a bottle. It's one of the uplifting oils. So let's see, I'm going to show you real quick. Whoops, let's see. Oh, I didn't have it in here. It's somewhere, I think. Anyway, there's a wheel that comes with this. I'm not sure if that slides in here or not. Anyway, there's an emotional wheel that comes with this, and you'll see like there's 2 different categories per oil that they share. So some are like your spices and citrus and the grasses, florals, mints. So you'll look on here on this wheel, and there's these different emotions that you might be dealing with. And so you look on there and you basically pick, you know, which section you feel like you are in, and that's the oil that you would use. It's pretty neat. So Cheer, like I said, was my immediate favorite, but my first real emotional experience with Forgive was when I was at work one day. I had this client who had already no-showed for 2 90-minute massages. And I had him scheduled to come in, and I have a cancellation policy where they pay for their missed appointment. And so he was going to be coming in to pay for those 2 misses as well as his massage that was coming up. And lo and behold, he no-showed for the 3rd time. So I was frustrated, to say the least. And not only was that a huge waste of my time, but it was like a $300 loss, basically. So that was pretty frustrating. So I went back to my room and I got my Forgive oil and I rubbed it all over my chest and, you know, inhaled it. I think I probably put it in the diffuser. And I changed my music in my room. I kind of got my vibe different. So I just kind of felt better about life because I was pretty pissed off, to say the least. But anyway, I got busy cleaning my fish tank. And before I knew it, like, I was actually in a really good mood and I was in a good space, like headspace. And so Forgive became one of my next favorites, honestly. Console, though, is another good one. I use that on my son a lot. Like I said, I use Adaptive on him, but Console is a good one for his little heart sometimes, but it's also really good for grief, in times of grief. And I have a client who, she actually got into Doterra from me using Console on her in her massage therapy sessions. She just kind of had a situation with her daughter that got into this toxic relationship, and their relationship got severed. And she basically chose him over her in their relationship. And so it was basically like losing a child. And so she was going through a lot of grief, and Console was what got her through, along with doing, you know, pairing that with her massage therapy sessions and being able to kind of like talk through some of that. So we were able to help her not only with her physical ailments, with that emotional stuff that she was going through, but she was able to use that oil to help her get through it as well. Okay. Motivate, I like to usually diffuse whenever I'm like having to do some chores at home. Passion's a good one. It's the Inspiring Blend if you need some inspiration. And then Peace is also a really good relaxing one. That's a good one too for sleep, I think. Okay. I think Papaya needs to be mentioned when we're talking about this category of stress, sleep, and emotions, because it is one of those new oils that is kind of like good for just about everything. So the soft gels are actually no different than the oil. Like, I know those other ones, there were different ingredients. On this one, it's just basically using that oil internally. The different things that it helps with is liver and antioxidant support, cardiovascular health, it sustains proper immune response, digestive support, supports proper neurological function, so that head brain, proper respiratory function. So if you'll look on here, it's basically touched all three of our brains again, along with all these other different systems in our body. So I think it's a pretty powerful one. But Papaya actually has a secret superpower. So the oil itself, if you use it, like, it's good on its own, but it has a unique ability to enhance the absorption of other essential oils when it's applied topically. So better absorption means better results, no matter what the results you're looking for are, or what oil you choose. So simply put, your favorite essential oil is better with Papaya. So that's a really good one. That one is also another new favorite. It's really similar to CBD oil. I know a lot of you guys know what that oil is. And so the therapeutic effect of what is in CBD is the, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. It's a beta-carotene. Is that right? I don't know. It's BCP. So that's what gives it the therapeutic effect in the CBD oil. Well, that same component is in Papaya. But what's great about Papaya is you don't get that high effect. You know, it's legal. It's also, it has a higher percentage of that BCP too. So in CBD oil, it's about 5 to 35%. And in Papaya, it's actually about 60%, I believe. So it's actually more powerful than CBD. Okay. And the Lifelong Vitality Pack, I feel like this needs to get a nod, just because it's kind of our baseline for health. If our health is all jacked up, then everything else is going to be kind of jacked up, right? So this helps to kind of fill in those gaps whenever our food, like what we eat, is not perfect most of the time. We can't get all the nutrients that we want in our diet. And so these supplements kind of help to fill in those gaps. And it also just helps to give you more energy. they're great for so many different things, but they basically just feed our body and our brain what we need. So I sometimes, like, if I get out of my routine with taking supplements, then I will forget. And so that's why I think it's really important when you use not only the oils, but also the supplements, to just kind of get this routine where, you know, like, you're using them, you have them out, you have them to where you can see them, and you are using them on a regular basis to kind of just help you with different areas. But whenever I found out that I was pregnant with my now 2-month-old, I had gotten off of my supplements, and I had kind of gotten to where I was drinking coffee just to get through my days. And so I knew I needed to get back on my supplements for my pregnancy, because those are my prenatals. Like, I use those for that. And so I got back on those, and I was able to cold cut coffee without needing any other stimulant to keep me awake through the day. It gave me enough energy. I had 2 other kids to look after and pregnant. And I was able to cut all that, the coffee, and just have enough energy and feel good just with using these. So these are pretty powerful. I also have a friend who, it's been a little while, but when she first started using doTERRA, she had been on some antidepressants for several years, and she really wanted to get off of them. And I'm not giving any medical advice, but that was what she was wanting to do, was wean herself off of those. And so she started using the Lifelong Vitality Pack along with Balance to ground her for her anxiety issues, and Wild Orange for like an uplifting oil throughout the day. And she was able to completely get off her antidepressants that, like I said, for several years she had been on. And so I think these are really, really important. Okay. So, do you think it's possible to rewire your body using these natural solutions after all that you've heard? Hopefully the answer is yes. Okay. So I want to show you a couple of, or a few kits that are possible to get that are with some things that I mentioned tonight. There's the Adaptive System, and it's 70 PV or $82. The Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. So this is the touch version. This is the roller bottle version. So if you really like the rollers to keep on hand, to roll on you or your kids throughout the day, then this is a really good kit. I think the other kit, the one with just the little 5 ml oils, I think it's around $150. Y'all can check if I'm wrong. I think it's around that. But the touch kit is $100. And then if you're on LRP, then you can get the Calm and Harmony kit, which is 150 PV or 159. So this one contains a lot of great oils and products that we mentioned tonight. So it has your Serenity soft gels and the Serenity oil. It has Balance, which is, it's one of my favorite like grounding oils. It has Peace. That was one of the emotional aromatherapy oils. Petitgrain, so that one's that, like, so it's really similar to lavender one. It also has lavender, and it has cedarwood, and it has wild orange for that uplifting. Okay, so Wellness has rewards. So you can actually get a free oil of the month if you order at least 125 PV by the 15th of the month. doTERRA will automatically send you a free oil. It changes every month. It's always something new. It's always something different. And you can earn free credits, free oil credits, by purchasing at least a 50 PV order every month. And you get all your shipping. If you're on LRP, then you get all your shipping back in credits as well. So if we look back at these kits, like, so you would get, for instance, if you did the Adaptive System and the Emotional Aromatherapy Touch, then you've automatically got a free oil as well. And then you've gotten your shipping pay or shipping back in points. You've earned points on your order. And so cashing in for free stuff is always awesome. Okay, guys. So if you are invited here by a friend, and you're not you don't have a membership, I just want you to be sure and get back with your friend who invited you and get more information if you're interested in how to get the free stuff, or like if you're not on LRP, like how to get on LRP, or if you're just not a member yet, then definitely talk about that as well. There is a very important special going on right now for new members. So if you order a $150, not PV, but dollar order, you get 50 free points the following month to cash in. So if you, for instance, got those two kits there, the two first ones, you can't get the LRP kit if you're a new member. That one's just for your next month. So you could start with these other two, and then the next month you could get the LRP kit. Then that would automatically qualify you for the 50 free PV. So that's only going on for the next 2 days. So today and tomorrow. The last 2 days to do that. Okay. Okay. So now you have some products and tools to help you handle stress and improve your sleep and hopefully balance your emotions better. So thanks for listening, guys, and happy oiling. Okay. Any questions, anyone?
So mine's not a question, but I right now I have my little oil pantry open because my kids are getting to bed right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick 3 different oils and let them choose which one, let them smell, and they get to choose. And I want to do that breathing thing with them. Like, that's something that can even help kids.
Yes, I actually do that every night with my kids. So whenever they lay down, we have this bedtime routine. And I put some chill music on in their room. I get them oiled up. We've already read our little Bible stories, and we'll say prayers. And then I'll say, okay, guys, let's do our deep breathing. And then we'll just I'll say slow, go slow. Let's slowly inhale and then slowly exhale. And they just chill out. So it's really awesome. Anybody else?
I do have a question. Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. Hello. So do you know the Serenity Capsules? Are they something that as you take them over time, do they get more into your system? Or like if somebody takes them today, should they have a more restful sleep tonight?
Well, with any supplement, I would say that the longer you use them, probably the better, but I have immediate effects. So I can use one tonight and have a better sleep, and noticeably a better sleep than if, I didn't take it. I had run out of them and I only had my adaptive, and I started using that at night even. And so you can use that one. It's not like it's going to give you energy. It's still got that GABA production, which is still helpful. So you can still even just take your adaptive at night. But yeah, Serenity at night, even if you haven't been using it, you can still feel the effects immediately.
Okay.
So maybe before we end, if people want to go around and share, if they want to, one of their favorite products that they've discovered for stress. How are we doing on time? It looks like we have about 2 minutes for sharing. So hop on quick, or maybe 3. I think this might kick us off at 8. But if you have a favorite thing to share, I'm just gonna say I love Daniel's bergamot. I'll put it, just search Daniel on our team page, and you're gonna see how she uses that bergamot. So that's my sharing.
I have noticed myself that when I put together that Siberian fir, you had a part on this before with one of the citrus oils, like an orange. It should be exhilarating or awakening, but to me, it's very calming. So I love those smells. Matter of fact, I've been putting those in for my diffuser. But I find it very funny. I think it's because I have a sleep disorder. I've always been attracted to the fir trees, the citrus, the peppermint kind of things. But for my husband, unbelievably, and it's been for several years now, if he uses lavender, as soon he puts it on like aftershave when he's stressed, literally wipes his face. He says his body responds so quickly that as soon as he wipes his face, he knows relief is coming. He starts to, if it's stressful driving in Dallas or some trip or something, he does travel a lot. It's just immediate. And I've always heard a lot of people say beautiful things about the lavender. It's not so much for me. It doesn't work as well for me, but I use it for so many injuries. I have to have lavender all the time. So just that's my share.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine.
One of my favorites that I got on late because I was putting my son to bed, so you might have talked about this, but it's actually in the kids collection, Comfort. I really like that for my kids whenever we're trying to settle down. Adaptive, I love, and Balance and Serenity together are two of my favorites. So that's my share.
Yes, I forgot to mention the kids collection. That's perfect. It's like its own line for all kids emotional aromatherapy stuff. I love that.
I use vetiver and lavender too for sleep. But for stress, I use Papaya and Adaptive. So a capsule of each. And then for more extra, I put it on my bottom of my feet. So I can just quickly go in there and have that stress go down.
Good. Someone quickly, am I muted? Okay. Someone quickly remind me of the class for next week. Does anyone know what it is? If we can't find it in the next minute, we will post it just onto our team page. All these classes are beautiful. Alicia, you did an amazing job. I loved hearing your experiences. My heart went out to you with what a hard late time you've had lately, and I think that all of us can relate, but we're thankful that we have these oils.
Yes, thank you so much. And I've learned a lot just diving into all this, so it's been really neat.
Thank you for teaching. Okay, then we're gonna sign off unless anyone wants to share something really quick. Okay, we're gonna sign off for the week. Hope to see you back here Thursday. Thank you for coming on. Be sure to invite your friends, and you can share the link and tell them about the event, and we love you all. Thank you so much for hopping on. Bye-bye.